Hi, everyone. Dom Famularo again. I am back. This is incredible to have this opportunity on Mondays at 2 o'clock for Mapex, our all access. We bring in these top players, and I'm going to bring someone on. Although I had him before several months ago, I wanted to bring him back because he's doing some great things, and we've got tons to talk about. So would you please welcome Rashid Williams?
What's up, man?
Rashid, thanks so much for joining us. We go back a long time, and I'm such a fan of your playing. I love your groove in your pocket is just so deep and just so honest, and I love that in your playing.
Man, I appreciate that so much. It means so much coming from you, of all people. You're the man. You are.
Well, I've been doing this a long time, and when young players like yourself come up, it's really refreshing to see the creativity in your playing, the dedication to your playing, not only all the different recording you're doing, playing the gigs with John Lennon and Jill Scott. You're doing so many great things. Plus, now you're involved with some teaching, which I want to get involved with the Lesson Squad. Yeah. I want to bring that out. And we've got tons to talk about because your video was released late December with the Saturn Evolution drums. My gosh, they sounded so fantastic.
They're amazing. I mean, such an amazing drum kit, such an amazing new level of innovation, man. Like this is just constantly, never ceasing to amaze like what we're doing over here.
It's really amazing for me too, because I've been with the company for many years, and I've always seen a very consistent, desire to want to keep on pushing the envelope of drums, to make them to a point where the quality is so consistent. And Mapex, listen, you buy a Mapex drum set, you take it out of the box, it is 100% complete. It is that absolutely checks every single lug and product and washer that goes out, and they are so efficient with that just purchasing a new set of drums. I've got several students that are purchasing new drums. They get the drums delivered, they set them up. It is just so exciting. So let's talk about this video that you did, because I want to get right into the Mapex end of it. People can go to YouTube.
Yep.
And they can go to the Mapex YouTube channel.
Yep.
Check it out. And you just, God, what was the arrangement that you played?
So that was I did that. That was an original composition from me. And you know what, man? I tell you what, Dom, my goal is that people feel something. I think we live in a world now where feeling is like lacking a little bit, because of, people got numb with all of this pandemic and COVID and no human interaction, So I really wanted to create something that people would just feel some emotion, feel my emotion. And that track, man, it packed a lot of that. So that was an original composition. I did it myself, and I was really excited because that composition that's the only place it is. It's only on that Mapex video. I haven't played it anywhere else, haven't used it anywhere else.
Fantastic.
So, tried to keep the emotion going, man. So it was a fun thing.
Absolutely fantastic. If you would, Rashid, just move over a little bit more so we can get more of your face in the
face. I thought you wanted the kit.
I want to see you there. I want to see a little more of you for now. There it is. Okay, good.
Nah, okay, cool. This should be cool.
Yeah. So what's interesting too is that composing a tune. How do you go about that? Composing a song. Do you play it on the instrument? Do you electronically compose it? How do you pull that off?
Well, I do happen to also play like keys and bass, and I grew up in church, so you kind of play whatever they tell you to play. It's that kind of thing. So the thing is, I usually start with some form of a motif, some rhythmic style of a motif, something that I can draw out, like, something I can build on, something I can make embellished and make amazing from the ground level, because I believe in dynamics and I believe in taking people on the journey. So usually it starts with some form of a motif, and then from there I'll build arrangements around it. So I'll play some piano, I'll play some strings, a little synth, either regular live bass or key bass, whichever one it needs. And then usually, fun fact, I never play actual drums to it until I'm doing the video, or until I'm actually like in that moment. So even on that Mapex video, that was the first day I played that track on a set of drums. What people got was my honest, like, this is his first impression of his own thing. So I think
that is fantastic. You know, I'm going to ask Jeff Mulvihill is listening to us right now, who's another phenomenal player. Jeff has got a great player and fantastic, you know, energy behind the Mapex scene of what he does. And he posted the lessonsquad.com, you know, Rashid Williams. That's the link to how they can get to you on Lesson Squad. But I'm going to ask Jeff, if you can, Jeff, post the video that we're talking about now that's from YouTube of Rashid playing on the Saturn Evolution video. If you can post that, that would be great to have in the comment section here for sure in what we're doing here.
Yeah, Jeff is the man. Jeff is the guy.
Great guys. I mean, you know, Jeff Mulvihill, you got Mark Bennett. These guys are great, dedicated people behind the company of what they're doing. And even they're putting together. So where did you shoot that video?
We shot that video at Mapex HQ, Mapex headquarters, man. Which, as you know, is the KHS headquarters technically. But it was really interesting because, you know, when you're doing these things now, today, in today's day and age, where everything is about content and making sure that the people can still have an experience without leaving their house. Yeah, man, we took our time. We strategized for a while because we got to be safe while we do these things. Right. And it was like, hey guys, I'll be the first guy, the guinea pig. Let's see, you know, if we can make it happen. And we got out there and it was great. You know, they have a great in-house studio there now and a great photo room. It's really, really, really a beautiful thing to see the plan just come together the way it needs to. So those guys there, like you said, Mark and Jeff, and even down to the photographer, videographer, Ryan, like there's so many great people there that made that happen. And I couldn't be more happy with it.
And listen, Jeff Goldenson, you know, Jerry Goldenson, who's just a phenomenal leader of the pack of what he does too. Jerry's been in this business a long time and he gets it. And again, it takes that kind of leadership and that kind of a team to be able to create the vision of what Mapex is doing now, which really is pretty powerful.
Oh, 100%. I think that's some of the beauty of Mapex in general. I think some of the beauty is that everybody feels like family and we function like family. We function like a team of people who know we have a collective goal to get to the end result and get there as efficiently and you know, with all the grace and style that we can. And like you said, with a leader like Jerry, and then great guys like Mark and Jeff. And then, you know, we have such an amazing roster as well of drummers like willing to go the distance, man. I think it just really, really, really adds a lot more emphasis to all these amazingly great moments that we're having.
It really is powerful, you know, and at the company, the fact that they have a studio that's set up that you can go by there, the drums are there, all the gear is there, and also the mics. I know you were using there, which what I have also here is SE Electronics.
Yep, which is also what I have here. SE Electronics, man. And you know, it's funny to play with those mics because I'm sure you have too, you play with mics that kind of process the sound of the drum a little more than you want it. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't give you the natural raw tone. And for drummers who have great sounding drums, you want the raw tone. SE Electronics somehow found a way to create the most honest tone that I've heard through a mic. So I think it's a beautiful thing what they're doing. And yeah, man, they got me laced up here at home, and we're laced up there at the Mapex studio. You're laced up there, you know. And it's like, you know, you can't go wrong with everybody playing with the right thing, you know.
Absolutely, and you know, I think what they've done is they've used like an aluminum-based, you know, coating inside the mic to allow that sound to be as natural as possible. It's a very, very unique microphone sound, and it works. It just works so well with what we're doing.
Yes, 100%.
So you did this video. Now I know Jeff Mulvihill has recently posted the link in there. So anybody that's watching right now, we've got some people that have joined us. Sean Preston has joined us. Boy, thanks so much, Sean. Jeff Towers is here. Of course, Jeff Mulvihill. We've got Samantha Landa. Samantha Landa is a phenomenal female drummer that's based out of the Montreal area in Canada, and she has got such a deep pocket and a sound. And she's also an excellent writer in what she does. So, Samantha, thank you so much for joining us here. Raymond Rice is here.
Hey,
Right, right. Stefan Mixon's here.
Stefan is a cool dude. You've met Stefan before, Don. Years ago. Years ago. Stefan was in the drummer. I believe he was in the Drummer of Tomorrow competition years ago. And I believe me and you both judged that. So
but this is the typical of Mapex and what they did. The Drummer of Tomorrow contest was a global contest.
Yeah.
I mean, I traveled to about 8 or 9 different countries judging contests and doing it. It was just so fantastic. And as we did it together, we heard some pretty serious players.
Oh God, yeah. Some of the best.
That is great. We've got Gunnar Michaels is here. We've got Ivan Payne is here. So anyway, right? Another great player. So I want them all to listen. When you sign up here, just to put your name, let us know where you're from, so we can see where you guys are from. And also, if you have any questions for Rashid, put it up here and we'll throw it at Rashid. John Owens just joined us, a phenomenal player in North Carolina. He's with us here, and it's just to have a wide variety of people that you have here, Rashid. So let's go back into the Saturn Evolution video that you did. Talk about the drums now. What is it about this sound, which really is birch and walnut,
or maple and walnut, depending on which one you choose.
Absolutely.
As you know, Diamond, most people know the Saturn kit is like, that's the Mapex. Everybody knows it, even though they had like the Orion, which was the big one before. And then we've had so many other kits, but the Saturn kit with the maple walnut hybrid shell, that's like the boom for most people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, is one of my favorite kits ever in the Mapex line, and ever in terms of drums, honestly. So I think what makes the Evolution kits so much better and kind of to the next level is, one, like you said, it goes into that not just maple walnut, it's also maple birch as well now. Yeah. And Mapex, they don't limit anybody, which I think is phenomenal. Yeah. If you want to say, well, I want all maple, if I want the maple birch toms, or if I want birch toms with maple kick drum, or a birch kick drum with maple toms, or however you want to mix and match, you can really do that. And I tell you what, man, when we got down there and we started looking at the times and saying, well, which times am I going to play versus which kick am I going to play versus which snare am I, like, it really got surgical, because now you can fine tune your sound and it's kind of endless on what you want. Birch is a faster wood with a little more loudness and attack. So when you want that, you can get it quickly. Or if you want the classic maple sound, you kind of can get that too. So I think these drums have, they've taken it to the next level, as Mapex always finds a way to do somehow. And it's some other cool features as well. I don't know how fast you want to move, so I'll let you know. But I'm excited about it, because some other cool things about these drums that the eye can't tell just by looking at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with the mixture of the toms, so someone might want to use maple, maple walnut toms, and maybe a birch walnut bass drum.
Yep.
And maybe even a different snare, whether it's a wooden snare or a metal snare.
Right
so
on.
We really now have given the player real access to their sound.
Yes. And being able to create their sound. I think that's an ongoing theme that Mapex has had for a very long time, is being able to create your sound. It's great to have role models. It's great to look up to some drummers in the industry. I have tons that I look up to. However, you still want to have your own identity when you down behind the kit. And I think this is just another step in that direction of giving drummers the opportunity to create their own, relatable sound that they feel and that they can connect to.
Well, that's so great. So what do you remember what you used on the session, on the video?
Yeah, very similar to what I have here at home. I have birch rack toms, but then I went maple on my kick drum and my floor toms. The only difference in that particular video is that if you're looking at the video, I had birch rack toms, maple floor toms on my right side, and birch floor toms on my left side. So I know somebody in one of the comments, they were like, well, why? What was the the thought behind that. And my response is like, watch the video. you can hear the difference. You can hear the low tone difference, and you can hear the attack difference and the way I play them, because they're not meant to be played in the same spots. They're meant to be played where they go. So, that being able to kind of manipulate which wood on which drum and in which order really did play a part. This is actually the maple snare drum, which if you look at the video, it's a really deep, just dirty snare in there. That's this exact one. It's maple, and it's, dude, when I tell you, it grabs that tone and just hugs it, makes you want to wrap up in a blanket and feel warm. One.
Now, do you play single pedal or double pedal?
Single
pedal, right? And
then I'm not allowed to play double.
What? And it's a Falcon pedal that you're using.
Yeah, actually, got one right here. Yeah, this is my ultimate go-to at all times. I think a lot of people look for just a smooth pedal that's durable. I look for a pedal that I forget that it's under my foot, man. It has to feel like an extension of my leg. And that pedal in particular is the one. I often get compliments about my speed, and I'm like, nah, that's all single. That's all single pedal, man.
Well, I'm sure you play double pedal also, in the confines of your own home and what you're doing. But what's amazing, I had the chance of being
certain other drummers I know, and I try to get the rhythm going. And once in a while, I get a good run going. But when it comes down to like actually recording and gigging, it's the single.
Well, that's fantastic. I had a chance to be on a part of the design of that pedal many years ago with the great late Joe Hibbs.
I remember we were all there, and we did that thing in upstate New York, man. We did that first Falcon video.
Absolutely.
I was a young, skinny kid. That's how you know it was a long time ago. And you guys embraced me, man, so much. And Joe, like you said, Joe Hibbs pulled us all together at that video shoot, and we had a blast, man. We had a good time up there.
Yeah, that was shot up in Woodstock at Jerry Murata's studio.
Yes.
And Chris Penne was there, while Fredo Reyes was there, you were there, and we had such a great time shooting our parts and what we did. And that video is still out. Mapex still has that, and it's just really great footage. But it was about the Falcon pedals, about the fact that in the design of the pedal, we wanted to have a smaller footprint. So it's a thinner pedal, and many of the companies make a little wider floorboard, and they make a much wider bass. And I didn't want that wider bass, especially with the fact for a slave pedal and a double pedal, if the bass is too wide, your hi-hat is not that close. 100%. So by making the bass thinner and more narrow and thicker, we added the weight of it, narrow it, and of course we're able to bring all the pedals together. And of course with the Mapex Falcon hi-hat, comes along with it, the two-legged hi-hat. It's just a great combination. So the hardware itself has been so well thought out and so well used. But when I watched the video of you playing, man, you were laying into that kit, and it was just so great to hear. You were driving out like a freaking 18-wheeler, man. It was incredible.
Man, I just wanted to have some fun. I wanted everybody to feel my heart, and I like to think that that's exactly what happened. And I mean, there was so many things behind the scenes, man, that we, Mark Bennett and myself, like we were tuning up these drums, and it's so easy to tune. Yeah. And the other features on the drums, like the dial that chokes the drum and opens up the drum, we really took time, like figuring out, like, okay, how do we want to really make this sound come across? Yeah. And I tell you what, Dom, it was special. It was a very special day. It was the first time that the factory had opened up for any type of videos, and we got it done, man. We were just so proud to say that we did it.
Yeah. I mean, it came up. So the link is in the line here. Jeff Mulvey helped put it up there. I want everyone that's watching, and we've got people that are coming in from everywhere. People are starting to put down to where they're from. We've got Bruno Muse, who's from Belgium. He lives in Antwerp, Belgium. Who's a phenomenal drummer. Bruno, thanks for joining us here. My gosh, look at this here. We've got, this is great, man. Brandon Turner Speed is from South Carolina. As I mentioned, John Owens is from North Carolina. So we got some people all over the place. So let's talk about a couple of different things as far as snare drums, because now snare drums are a whole nother game of what Mapex has done.
100%.
The whole Black Panther line, and I know you use a variety of different snare drums for different occasions. I'm sure if you're playing live, if you're doing John Legend or you're doing Jill Scott, that's a completely different sound that you're looking for, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's the beauty of the Black Panther line, and which we, me and you talked a little bit before this, more than just the Black Panther line, because I don't just only use the Black Panther line. Yeah. It's so many snares and it's so many sounds. There's no way in the world that there's a sound that you want that does not fall somewhere within the roster of snares that Mapex is having. Yeah. It's impossible for somebody to tell me, oh, they don't have the sound I'm looking for. It's like, dude, it's just too many. So I've played so many snare drums, and they all are just so consistent and all for different purposes. Yeah. Sometimes you need, the 10-inch Wasp, and sometimes you need the 14-inch Equinox, or sometimes you need the 14-inch Solidus, which is deeper, but still, and the Solidus is actually what I played in the video. Oh, interesting. As a main snare. So that setup had 3 snares. One was the Wasp, which was a 10-inch steel. Right. One, this stock that comes with the Evolution kit, the maple walnut. And then I had the Solidus, which is in the new Black Panther line, which is, I can't remember which wood it was though. I feel like it was maybe walnut and something else. Yeah. But when I tell you that snare saying, man, thank Mark Bennett for that. He tuned that snare up and looked at me and said, "What do you think?" I said, "That's the one."
and Mark, who was a tech for many, many well-known drummers, drum tech, he knows gear and he knows tuning.
He knows his stuff, man. He is a very knowledgeable guy.
Boy, that's pretty powerful. So do you have any snare drums there that you can show us?
Yeah, I do. Actually, so this one, which is like my main go-to, is the Equinox. The single flange hoops on this one. Right. And it's maple with the reinforcement rings inside. If you guys can see that. Yep, there you go. Beautiful. Reinforcement rings inside. This is like my main, every gig, this snare is in the case. You know what I mean? Even if it's not getting used that day, it's in the case for whenever I need it. Another one that I really do enjoy, which actually there's a great story with this snare. This is a Heartbreaker, which is walnut. Yeah. With also reinforcement rings inside. But as you can see, it's white, which the snare came out at a wood grain. But when I did a Christmas tour with John Legend a couple years back, they wanted everything on stage white. So I enjoyed it being white so much, I never changed it. I left it as is, but this is a Heartbreaker. This is great for the deep tones, really body, man. Like the Equinox is more quick, snappy. This one is extremely thick and has tons of body. And
that's what I have back here. I've got a Heartbreaker back here on this kit, which is a Saturn V. It's just so fat. It's just a fat sound.
That thing just has a sound that is like no other snare.
Yeah.
So I have one more that I want to show because it's really important. So I think people get really caught up in the Black Panther line and they forget that there's other snares that make that. You know what I'm saying? There's other snares. It's not just Black Panther. So in some of my videos, I've been playing this piccolo. And this is just a regular Mapex MPX steel. It's just a piccolo snare drum that just sounds so good. And it's not a Black Panther snare. It's just a MPX Mapex snare drum. Yeah. But this snare drum, I recently did a rap gig with Rick Ross. We did Tiny Desk, which is coming out soon. And this snare for the trap stuff and for the rap beats and locking in those grooves, this was the snare for it, man. And it really delivered every single thing I needed it to deliver. So people, don't just think it's Black Panther now. We got some other things too. So that's just a few of the ones I got in here because I like to keep a variety around.
And what's the snare you have back there on the kit?
This snare is This one is the Saturn Evolution Maple Walnut. Dude, when I say nice and deep, just nice and deep, man. This snare has a certain low frequency on it when tuned low that it's special, man. It's special. If they look at the video, they'll see it, they'll hear it. It is extremely, extremely particular to its sound. And then you can also tune it up. It's tuned really low right now, but you could also tune it up and still get some of that crack that you're looking for from that maple component.
Right. So is it so that one? So that's a maple walnut.
Yep.
And the heartbreaker is birch walnut.
I believe so. Yeah.
So and again, and they're both in the low range. So, but they are different in how they project the sound.
Exactly.
Of that lowness. So you really got to kind of hear each of these drums. And I mean, I was at the recent NAMM show that we had in 2020.
Yeah.
Actually, 2020 was, my gosh, it was already a year ago that we were there. This
last NAMM show known to man.
the past NAMM was virtual. It was all online, and it was great, but it was a very, very different feeling of not being able to see everyone and enjoy the craziness of what NAMM is about. And NAMM, again, is the National Association of Music Merchants. It's a huge music convention that happens in January every year. And because of the pandemic, it was all done virtually. But I have been going to it for well over 40 years. Yeah. And just going there and seeing everybody and all the product is there. And they had all the snare drums lined up and tuned.
Yeah.
My gosh, everyone was a completely different feel, sound, and it was like a color. You had like a range of colors. And it was really kind of exciting to kind of see the fact that Mapex is really pursuing these variety of sounds in a very, very different way.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible because of the fact that I think drummers, I mean, growing up, especially in church, man, we didn't have access to a lot of the different sounds. We had one sound in our mind. Yeah. And usually, unless you take the time to really learn, which most drummers didn't, every snare you had, you just tried to get that same snappy crack on the snare, not realizing that the wood plays a major part in how the snare projects.
Right.
And, how the snare, the personality of the snare, and the color, like you said. So when you got such a beautiful, beautiful variety, it really lends to your creative mind.
Yeah.
You can establish and accomplish anything you want. And I think that is the special part. I tell people all the time, like, you can't just, it's like Pringles, you just can't have one. You got to keep going. Once you dive into that world of Black Panther line, man, you got to keep going. You got to have more than one. And I guarantee, recording wise, you won't ever be let down. Live wise, you won't ever be let down.
Yeah.
Practice, man. You also want to practice with great sounds, and it's pretty incredible.
Well, that's actually a great point, Rashid. And in today's world of performing, where we're playing in all different styles and different sounds, and in different rooms and with different bands, it takes our gear has to be adapted. Listen, guitar players. I know guitar players that have 30 or 40 guitars.
Yep.
And every guitar is completely unique to what it is. So drums in one area, I mean, and for drummers that are serious, especially Mapex, you need to have now the birch walnut and you need to have the maple walnut, just for the fact that those two kits are going to allow you to get different sounds. And then, of course, as you said, you can mix them along the way.
Yeah.
The other part of it is the fact that even with sticks, I mean, I have such a wide variety of sticks that I use, these tools that I have, and then cymbals. I've got a wide variety of models that I use with what I have back here. And again, all those different cymbal sounds. Listen, doing a session today, man, really requires a knowledge of different sounds that we need in which to create our own sound.
And that's the thing, because and it's funny, man. It's funny that you say that. While I was doing the Rick Ross Tiny Desk taping, which I believe comes out the 16th of February, which is gonna be great. It's funny because one of the songs I played mallets on the drums the whole entire song.
Yeah.
And nobody would think that a Rick Ross tune or a rap tune needs that. However, it did. And it's all toms and mallets. And I was like, man, it's so amazing how it's so many different levels to this thing. It's not just grab your sticks and go all the time. Sometimes it's let me strategize and how I'm going to do it. So you got to have a variety of sticks. You got to have the variety of cymbals. Yeah. And it helps when you got a really great drum kit. that kind of really ties everything together. I believe the drums are the foundation, the cymbals are an auxiliary part, and your sticks are what enables the foundation to be heard. So, you know, I think it all comes full circle. And it's funny that you even mentioned like with live sound, man, the way that this Saturn Evolution kit works with microphoning in live environments. Dom, I mean, I know you've seen.
It's night and day. It's so fast. It's responsive. You get a great sound quickly.
Yeah, you get a great sound quickly, and then if the front of house guy says, "Hey, I'm getting a little overtone on that 12-inch time," because the 12-inch time is everybody's most hated time. You know, let's be honest about that. 12-inch time is everybody's most hated time. So when they say, "Yo, man, I'm getting a little overtone," you just turn that little dial on the side and you know, grip that shell a little bit more, and before you know it, you have a perfect tone. Which was also a thing that Mark and I, while we were tuning up the kit and putting it all together, dude, we were actually having fun with that. We were like, let's see what it sounds like, you know, if we turn the dial a little bit. Which, hold on, I can actually show you what I'm talking
about. Check this out, man. Look at this, man. We are like in your home with you, in your studio.
Literally at my house.
How great is this, right? Incredible.
It's literally at my house. So here's this is a Birch Time, my 12-inch. Like I said, I play with the Birch Ragtimes, but what makes this whole thing cool, if you notice, for those who know Saturn drums, the mount is way more sleek. It doesn't take up as much space as it did.
Yeah.
If you notice right here, there's this little, see if we can do it this way. Here we go. There's this knob, and on this knob, when you turn it out, it opens up. It literally doesn't put any pressure on the actual shell.
Interesting.
When you tighten it, it's a little piece of rubber in there that puts pressure on the shell and just closes up those overtones a little bit. And when I tell you it makes a world, I mean a world of a difference. Yeah. You just can't beat that. Being able to, and I mean, that's why, if you notice, there's no moon gels, yeah. You know, tape, no nothing. It's just the drum and the heads. So they really outdid themselves with this particular technology.
But this is also the brilliance of the minds behind Mapex that are just totally kicking tail when it comes to like creative ideas. And they've got more new ideas that are coming out soon. So I mean, I always say to you guys, hang on to your hat, man. You know, be a part of the family of what we're doing at Mapex. I got a question here from Ian Payne. I want to come by. I want to bring this up here. I want to show you this.
Here. My man.
Right? Ivan Payne. What is your mindset in your approach when playing with Jill versus John Legend? And what was your approach to the video as well?
Great question. So the approach with Jill versus John, right? So John's show is a very, very stable. It is what it is. We're going to play these records exactly the way you hear them on the album for the most part, other than segues. And his show has some Pro Tools behind it to make sure that we get all the album elements into the live environment. And it's a very, very straightforward, once you get the rehearsals down, this is the gig. You know what I mean? This is what we're going to play every night. We're going to give the fans the album every single night. Make sure that they can relate to that original space from the music, right?
Right.
With Jill Scott, it is a lot more free. She specifically requests and hopes that we play something different every night.
Yeah.
She wants it to be as free as possible. You know, no Pro Tools, no extra backing tracks and all of that stuff. We literally create everything the crowd hears live in the moment.
Yeah.
Which means that from night to night, the show can change to any drastic measure.
Right.
I think that's what that kind of a special element all in and of itself is when you tell people, hey, come to the show. I can't tell you what you're going to get. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can tell you what the set list is, but who's to say we're going to stick to the set list? You know, we might rear off of that and do something different. But yeah, that's the main difference in my approach. One is I have to be free and I have to be open-minded and as out the box as possible. Whereas the John Legend gig, my approach is very solid.
Yeah.
Stay solid with the records because that's what he needs to hear. That's what he's looking to hear. It locked in every night. When it comes to this video, like I said earlier, man, the video was so special because my approach was just to make people feel something. Like, we're in a very numbing time right now. So let's get everybody to actually feel something again. And like I said, I started with a motif. I created the motif. And from the motif, I was able to build a really stable level of consistent movement from that point forward and legitimately be able to say, hey, listen, I want you guys to just go on this journey with me. It's my approach. It's my music. It's my composition. I didn't have to worry about, doing the gig. I was able just to do my thing. So my approach was just feeling in heart, making sure everybody knew that this is what my heart is saying right now.
Well, what a great, there's such a great level of spirituality in there, Rashid, which is so beautiful to see. And listen, that goes back to your church days of how you were brought up and what you're trying to deliver, in your sound, in your art form, and in your expression, which is just absolutely fantastic. Ivan, thank you so much, man. Great question. I got another guy here. Check this out. If you remember Bruno Muse. Hi, Rashid. Remember in 2018 in the Hague on the beach when we celebrated Caesar Zidovic's 65th birthday.
Ooh.
Everybody had individual solos on that and doing that. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I have a question I often ask people. I say, was I drinking that night or was I sober? No. I actually do remember that. Now I think about it. That was, I'm pretty sure this was when we were outdoors and it was like a 2,000 drummers thing or something like that.
Yes, that was Caesar Zidovic, who's a phenomenal drummer in the Netherlands, and on his 65th birthday a few years ago, he's just a phenomenal drummer himself. And Bruno was there, and you were there, and the whole craziness was there. And
crazy thing about that, Dom, I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to leave a day before that, and the guys there were like, "No, you should stay. You should stay. You should stay. You're gonna want to see this thing." I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay an extra day. And dude, thank you, Bruno, for bringing that back up. That was a very beautiful, beautiful day. Drummers all in unison. Dude, I haven't seen anything like that before then and haven't seen anything like that since then.
And Bruno is thank you, Bruno, so much. Bruno is another great Mapex player who's been supportive of what they're doing for sure in all of the playing that he's doing, and he's constantly winning awards of top drummer in Belgium, in the Benelux area. He's another phenomenal real good guy.
Yeah.
So a couple of things now. Let's talk about education, because we had talked last time a few months ago. You were just starting to kind of step into the world of teaching, and there are many, many drummers that want to learn from you. So tell me about what's happening with the Lesson Squad. And in the comment section, Jeff Mulvihill put in lessonsquad.com/Rashid Williams for people to go there and check it out. What's happening with teaching now?
So you're right. The last time we spoke, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be doing it soon. And it was like, still getting everything going on that side. But now I'm fully up and running teaching. Lesson Squad is a great, great, great tool. I encourage everyone to go there mainly because it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Not only can you get lessons from myself and some of your favorite drummers, but you can also see the gear we play. And you can also, be able to look. A lot of times you get these questions in the comments where people say, oh, what snare were you using? Or, hey, I'm getting a new foot pedal. What would you recommend? Yeah. And it's like, no. Here's a one-stop shop where you can see every single thing that I'm using. You can see, different pieces of equipment, not just drums. You can see my interfacing. You can see my keyboards. You can see my speakers. You can see everything there. And, the links are there to make direct purchases, which is great. The other part of it is I am open for lessons, and I've been doing lessons, and it's so fulfilling to help drummers on their journey. And you send me a message through Lesson Squad, and I'll get it in my inbox right away. Mm-hmm. And, we'll talk back and forth and figure out the best time. that works for everyone. And these lessons are so great because not only am I talking about just drums and like the rudiments and the exercises and how to grow as the physical part of playing, but I'm also giving a lot of knowledge in terms of the business side too. A lot of drummers want to know how to network their way into a gig, and typing that on Instagram is rough. So I'm like, hit me up on Lesson Squad. We can just sit one-on-one and really chat it up and like really dig deep into that world of like, hey, this is how you do it. So Lesson Squad is a great tool. I've been thoroughly enjoying being on there.
Boy, it's so great that you got involved with it because you have so much to offer, and I've known you for many, many years, and I keep on saying, here's, you are one of the next generation of drummers that you're playing great, you're involved with these great artists that you're working with, and this is an important part of being involved in the sharing of this information on the success of what you're having, not only as an artist, but also in the business world. We want to be able to monetize and make money what we're doing. So a part of that is to keep all the recordings that you're doing. You're still doing recordings, which I want to talk about in a moment. But I mean, with the educational side, you're sharing this stuff. So I tell everybody one-on-one, take a lesson with Rashid, ask him questions, and talk about the fact, Rashid, about the importance of social media. How do you balance all this?
So the funny thing is, fun fact, I don't like social media because I feel like it takes away from our human interaction. However, when we live in a world where COVID-19 is rampant, and even down to even today, vaccine is happening, but it's still dangerous. We still want to be in touch. We still want to be able to reach out to each other and have our village and community of musicians that we can stay in contact with, and also get inspired and be able to draw inspiration from each other. I think that social media is great for that. All the rants that people put on there and all the craziness that's on their side, I think it's really, really cool when drummers are able, and musicians alike are able, to get together and be able to talk to each other, send messages to each other, see each other, they're in their home studio playing, and draw inspiration from what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's a very special thing, man. And the importance just comes down to the connection. You can't go outside as much. There's really no live music happening in your venues. Here we are on social media doing everything we can to stay inspired, and it becomes the platform that we can use.
And to a certain degree, it's unfortunately a necessary evil because it does take your time. Yes. And I'm on all the different platforms of what I do and build it and do it and socialize. So you have to kind of have the ability of being able to do it all and maintain a level of developing the artistic quality of your skill.
Yeah.
We've got to keep going. We got to keep on listening to new music. So we're taking in new music, and the practicing and the learning and the going through different, awareness of what's happening. There's a lot that we have to do. But when you're driven by your passion, which you clearly are, it's kind of fun to make it all happen.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, especially in my lessons, I tell folks, like, build a schedule. It's okay to have a schedule. Like, between this hour and this hour, I'm checking my social media. Outside of that, I'm in here on my kit. I'm practicing. I'm recording. I'm producing new music and new pieces to play to, and then I always say too, don't just scroll through social media. Actually click on some of these people's videos and say, hey, I need to be inspired today.
Yeah.
Cool. Click on the video and get some inspiration. I think that a lot of people kind of underestimate the power of what social media can be. And it turns into like this, I'll just scroll for a little while and I'm done. No, like actually draw some inspiration and utilize it. And make it a time thing, so that it doesn't get in the way of your recording and your practicing. I try to do that regularly so that I can make sure that this stays the forefront of my focus.
Absolutely. Boy, so well said. We're just joined by this gentleman here, Jerry Goldenstein. Two of the very best. Thanks for being a part of our drum family. Jerry, you are the best, man. Jerry, it's so good to have him involved in listening and being the leader of what we do with what KHS and of course Mapex is doing. Yeah. It's intense now, and Jerry's the perfect person to have at the helm right now to be able to guide everyone through these crazy times that we're in. So Jerry, thanks for joining us, and thank you so much for all that you do.
Right on.
How great. So with this here now, you're still doing some recordings and stuff. So are you recording from your home studio there?
Yeah, I'm recording from my home studio. Everything. So folks that might have caught John Legend on a lot of what he did last year, I recorded all of that stuff here. Not on this kit. This kit just got here, but I recorded tons of drums for tons of people, and tons of albums that are going to be coming out because everybody had time in 2020, man. We are all stuck at home, so what else better to do than mic up the kit and make it make sense, you know?
Well, that is so great. So you've got all your SE mics, you've got your drums there,
Yeah.
you're set up in your home studio. What was it like putting that home studio together?
It was fun, actually. It was really, really, really fun. And I'll tell you what, man, it's one of those things where when you don't know what's in front of you, because nobody knew how long COVID, like we didn't know pandemic was going to be a year. You know, when we left tour, they told us 2 weeks. It's all, we'll go home for 2 weeks and then we'll come back out and finish everything up. And then it was, a couple of months. Then it was, at the end of the summer. Then it was, we don't know. Yeah. So it's like, one of those things where setting this space up for me was actually like an adrenaline rush that I needed. It was like, yo, man, I finally get a chance to get back into a room of practice, a room of creativity. And setting it up was just, I had a blast, dude. Like I was in here every day for a good couple weeks, just doing some little small tests to see what I needed to cover up and which corner, and, to get the cleanest sound possible from what is a bedroom in my house. You know what I mean? Didn't need to do any major construction. Thank God for that. But I tell you what, man, this process was incredible. It still is incredible to this minute. Incredible.
You had to research what kind of audio interface you had. There was a learning curve in understanding because there are many different audio interfaces out there, and you got to research that. What program that you use to record this stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm a Logic guy. I know a lot of Pro Tools guys, and you got Digital Performer guys. You got so many different things, and Ableton. So when I've been using Logic for a really long time, so I'm more comfortable there.
Yeah.
I was, like I told you earlier, man, it's so crazy. You get this stuff set up, and people were sending me drum tracks, and it was coming back so fast. They were like, "Oh my God, like you recorded that in less than an hour." And I'm like, well, because now that I got everything set up, I just click on my template, my drum recording template, import the WAV files or audio files that people send me, learn the song, play along, send back a test run, make sure they're cool. And then, within an hour or two, usually we have a final draft of a 5-minute song, Yeah. So, it's really cool to have it dialed in and to be able to click, record, go. It's an amazing thing.
So what advice do you have out there for, a lot of the drummers that are listening on how they're going to put together their own studio? Is there anything you can guide them along the way and what can inspire them to make it happen?
Yeah, for sure, man. The first piece of advice is don't think you got to spend $1 million, man. Mm-hmm. We don't live in that world anymore. If you get quality products and you can still watch the bank and be okay. Yeah. I know a lot of drummers I've spoken to are still struggling from pandemic life.
Yeah.
Not being able to work. My advice would be, first and foremost, figure out your budget. Once you got your budget right, then utilize what you can within that budget. It's no harm to reach out to different drummers and say, hey, man, what would you recommend I do? Utilize your network. Say, I got this amount of money to spend and I need to do this, this, and that. Cool. The other thing is, don't be afraid to experiment with different levels of space. So if you can see, my drums are facing a corner. That was the 4th position in this room, Dom. That was the one that stuck. I tried all different things, man, to figure out what was the best sound for this space.
Yeah.
You go into a major recording studio, you can set the drums just about anywhere, and you'll get a clean, incredible sound. With smaller rooms, you got to be a little more, patient with the idea of maybe I set them here, it doesn't work. Move them there, it might work a little better. But hey, this corner was the best thing.
Yeah.
Down. So, that would be just, really take time and figure it out. Don't rush it. Don't feel like you just got to throw something together and then you're not happy with the result.
Yeah.
The other thing is, once you get it set up, use it every minute that you get a chance to.
Yeah.
Don't stop using it. Don't stop the creativity. Don't stop the drive and keep the essence of your craft in the forefront.
Yeah.
Because once you do have the space, market that you have the space. Tell people that you can record now. I'm a firm believer in posting videos online just for random Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, all that. So I would say it's a major thing to have the space, enjoy the space, and you don't have to break your pockets while getting the space.
Good for you. Good for you, Rashid. And it really is that where the technology is at today, you can get some great sounds. And again, not only the drums, Mapex drums we're talking about, but the SE Electronics, seelectronics.com. Go there and check out the mics. You can get some great mics. I mean, some absolutely great mics at a great price. Yeah. And you can set yourself up to get a really top professional sound and enjoy that and really take this to the next level.
Indeed. It's now it's really accessible for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something, Rashid. It's so great to always have you here. And I want everyone to understand lessonsquad.com. Go there /Rashid Williams. Go check out his site, go check out what he's doing. And I would advise everyone, go there and take a few lessons with Rashid and just touch base on different areas. It might be just how he plays certain grooves. You might want to even find out the track he played for the Mapex video. Maybe have people send people that track and teach them how to play it and get more people playing. I mean, with you songwriting and putting this stuff together, that's an extremely huge advantage as an educator to have that ability.
Yeah, and I tell folks all the time, man, you go there, we don't have to do an hour. We can do a half hour just talking about social media presence.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I think the biggest thing is, man, I have a huge desire to just do my part. Do my part, pay it forward, give to the next person some of the skills that I've been able to learn over these years, man, and kind of continue this beautiful evolution, pun intended, continue this beautiful evolution of my career. Because, things are happening, man, and things are growing, and I'm really excited about what's to come. But, I also want to share my knowledge and how I'm making some of the decisions and, some of the choices that I'm making with studio, with drums, with the business in general.
Yeah. So,
man, I tell people all the time, reach out to me, especially on Lesson Squad, because I'm on there. I have a whole chunk of my day for that. So, it's a good place to be.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I want everyone to go there and check it out. Rashid, thank you so much, man. It's always great to see you. I've been along this evolution of yours for many, many years, and I've seen what you're doing, and you've always produced all of what you do at a high level. And for that, I thank you, man. This is a great message you're sending out for this next generation to understand and see the dedication of what it takes to our art form. And thank you so much. And thank you, Mapex. They are just an incredible company that allows us to have this vehicle to reach people all around the world.
Yeah.
Again, this will be on their Facebook page. So go there and sign up on the Mapex Facebook page, and also go to their YouTube channel, because these videos are then posted back up on the YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe to the Mapex YouTube channel. So fantastic. Rashid, thank you so much.
Thank you, Don. Thank you
so much.
Stay well,
stay safe, and hopefully we'll see each other real soon.
Most definitely. We got things to do. We got plenty of things to do, man.
Thank you so much. All right. Stay well. Thanks everyone for joining us along the way.